Help! 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 Alright. Let's get down in business. What do you two? Jqilin here, back again with another video of Katawa. And where we left off last episode was we were getting some art supplies for Misha and Jqilin to get ready for the festival, and we met a very new, very quixotic, as the scholars would say, individual known as Rin. You're trying to figure out what was wrong with us and asked us if we had something wacko with our tackle. But of course we said no, because we know we roll with some big ol' schlong. Mama didn't raise no fool. So anyway, we're about to get our bounty of art supplies and head back to the two girls. So without any further ado, let's get into it. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whispered to myself, "What an intriguing person." From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice. "I heard that." It's like, no! I wasn't ready for that. What did you see? What did you hear? It's like, oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. It's like, I jump at the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the clearly empty hallway. Even going as deaf as Hisao is. Somehow she had gotten to jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about a global feminist conspiracy, but I pushed that thought aside. He's like, maybe Kenji was onto something. Nah, he's just weird. And look who's behind her. Jqilin, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof as if she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention. But Misha is visibly excited. No, wait! More importantly, who is in there? There's no club meetings today. She tried to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. Nosy Parker. What are you doing here? Just coming back with the stuff. You took so long that you had to come check what's wrong. That's not good, Jqilin. I was talking to a girl. I mean, it took a long time to get the supplies. She wags her finger at me scoldingly. I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you are tardy. Oh, sorry. I got the things here. Was just going to bring them. Give me some time, woman. Jeez. I thought you were up to some mischief, He-chan. Who's in there with you? I wondered. Nobody. Misha signs something quickly to Jqilin, pointing at her own ear a couple of times. Dang. Jqilin immediately pushes her way past and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she is experiencing. With Jqilin's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. As she silently reads in her head, and indeed she stares at Rin, frozen in place apart from the slight but noticeable trembling of her shoulders, from suppressed rage, I'm sure. Oh lord, we're about to reach DEFCON 3. Instead of blowing up, Jqilin takes a few deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, and slams the door shut, turning to sign fiercely at Misha. Oh, jeez. She signed out with such authority. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She shoots a very loaded stare at me, as if it was somehow my fault that Rin was sleeping on one of the tables. It's like, we didn't do anything, she's gonna swear. I thought she's not getting any I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason for my tardiness. I was like, we didn't do anything. I mean, she asked if we were drunk, but that was it. I was like, I may have thought about unbuttoning my pants shorts, but no, nothing happened. Hello. Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Rin directly behind it, looking at us with a half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello. Dots.
Miss Tezuka, what do you think you were doing? You absolutely are not permitted to use school property for such, disgraceful activity!
Huh? It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know I was this popular.
It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. Well, I would imagine she'd be unhappy because there are two people yelling at her. All she wanted was just to be left alone. At any rate, she ignores Shizune Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizune taps Misha's shoulder, points at Rin, and makes some quick signs. Dots.
Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore.
Dots.
Anyway, how's your project going? Will it be done for the festival?
Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure Shizune's cold stare is putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself too. This gosh darn project has a mind of its own. Dots.
And?
We'll think about it harder. As Misha signs her reply to Shizune, her face turns into an unsatisfied frown. Dots.
Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously. It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like somebody threw their lunch into it.
Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizune doesn't. Not even after translation. She is clearly not impressed. She just shakes her head, takes the materials from me, and takes off with Misha in tow. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after the retreating student council duo. Oh, she does frown. How rude. It's true though. I must finish my project before this weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. It's the end of the world as we know it, but I feel fine. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to unforeseen future. I'm about to ask what project she has, and what are those apocalyptic consequences. When she walks back into the art classroom, and I am none the wiser. Since you have nothing to do, would you give me a hand? Why, certainly! I can give you two, as a matter of fact. This paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks slightly at the huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on, and lets a dull clank. That's what a clank sounds like. Being the supreme gentleman that I am, I naturally pick it up tipping my fedora on the way down. Heavy. Like the heavy weapons guy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need to take it? Away. Away, away, away from here. Away, away, away from here I'll be. And with that, she takes off from the to the hallway, me and the paint can following since there was little choice for either of us. Come on, paint can, it's just you and me. The hallway is quiet and empty now with Shizune and Misha gone. So we too leave toward the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 minutes, every 10 or 15 or 20 steps, I have to change the can from one hand to another because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching. Or maybe I am walking weird because of this extra weight. Anyway, it seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast, and I can't figure out which. It reminds me of a George Carlin skit when he was talking about that very thing, where he said, you ever had your arm around your date and you either had to walk really lightly and slowly to stay up with her, or she had to take really big steps to stay up with you and be like, hey Joey, how are ya? George Carlin, comedy genius. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Mr. Nakai. What a happy coincidence. Tezuka too, of course. Yeah, look at this guy and his crap-eating grin. But my favorite theme in this whole video game. Anyway. He laughs courteously to Rin, who does not acknowledge him back, and turns to me because obviously it's me who he had some business with. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. It's like, what was that? Did you manage to keep a boombox with you wherever you go? I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. Oh man, out with it. It's about your medication. Since you haven't been that long on your current medication, there might be some unexpected side effects, which might require adjusting dosages or even changing to another kind of medication. So, we will do a few tests regularly, and what I want for you is to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off. If you catch my drift, you get what I mean? If you see what I did there, see where I'm going with this. Nausea, headaches, anything, and come see me if something happens. Or don't. It's your funeral. I'm sorry. Alright. Will do, sir. So, how are you? Everything fine? Oh yes, I was just on my way to deliver this paint can that's slowly cutting into my hand. I give up and drop the can on the floor before answering him. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps could handle. Come on bro, do you even lift? I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but then I realize how often I've done that already. I'm tired of being the generic protagonist, Kun. I need to stand out more as an individual. Other people would have asked me that too. Teachers and students here. My parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Just everybody. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school.
Well, it's a school. It's a school. I have a school. I have a hospital. Hospital school. I'm so dumb. Anyway. Except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not that kind of school that gets transfer students too often. Thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. Yeah, after going through all that internal monologue, you just say, screw it, and just give a generic answer. I'm fine. Things are great. It's like, that's great. Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been at neither the school track nor at the pool. So I'd like to know if you have taken up exercising as I asked. It's like, you're snitching on me. Of course I haven't. But his way of inquiring gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off on the track since the very first day. Like, well, you have people spying on me? I didn't know it was that important. Not so much. I just happen to know a few people. But that's not the issue here. So don't try to slip out of this, okay? I'm too smart for that. Well, I was actually just doing some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. Picks the weight cane, like, try and get these gains. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times as some sort of imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down on my arms painfully. Ow. Ow. The stupid grin disappears from his face in a second, and then comes back like it was never gone. This smartass. Izuka, would you give us a second? I need to talk this guy's ear off. Sorry about that, I just got something in the mail delivered to me. Anyway, where were we? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you are still in your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down this hard on you is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like diet. Look at me. It took me a long time to develop my dieting habit. Could you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? You see, I could say maybe and be a jerk, or I could just say yes and get on the good side. I think it'll pay off to be on this good side, and overall, it'd just be better for my health, because I get to be around here longer. So, excuse me, I'm just going to say yes. So, yeah, I promise, definitely, most definitely. He studies me for a moment, then shrugs, smiling again. There's the music. Okay, that's more like it. That's what I like to hear, Nagai. If you go to the school track tomorrow morning, I'll eat my spine. Who probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to jog a bit. Consultation? See you around. I'm not going to answer your question. Bye! He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer, and I walk to Rin, who has been waiting, idly leaning against the hallway wall, and staring at the pale lighting fixture in the ceiling. Even when I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off of it. She doesn't move her eyes off them. Oh, the light. Oh, it's light fixtures. I was like, what did she have her eyes on again? Completely forgot. Are you getting medication for your heart thingy? Were you listening? Well, you're only like 5 feet away from me. It comes out as more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out at her. He's like, why are you picking in my private business? You were like 5 feet away from me the whole time? Gosh! Like, but even so, I really don't want to start talking about it. I just met her. And I don't know her. It's not her business. But you told her earlier that you had a heart problem. I mean, granted, she was accusing you of having whacked the tackle. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality, too, talking about that kind of thing in public. Oh yeah, that's true. It's a gross HIPAA violation you just pulled off right there. But I guess HIPAA laws don't necessarily apply here. Well, they do, but I guess they don't in this world. But that's not Rin's fault, is it? I mean, no, it's not her fault. She just happened to be there. And I highly doubt she's going to tell anybody about this. I look up at her, suddenly feeling a little guilty. But Rin is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. It's like, that cloud is really far away. Sigh. I don't know why this is so hard for me. It feels like there's some inexplicable block that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Well, dude, you're going through a lot right now, okay? You had a big heart attack, you sat in a hospital for a while, you're trying to get adjusted to life around here, you have girls running you all around, making you do stuff, you're trying to get your footing in this world. I mean, you have to get yourself situated first before you could even think about coming to terms with your condition that you're going to have for the rest of your life. Yeah, they're for my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They're just going to help me get by. From today till tomorrow, on and on till the end of time. They just make me a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a while longer, and neither says anything further, nor displays any kind of emotion that I could discern. I'm thankful that she doesn't. I think I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital it was easy, but I haven't sorted my feelings about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building, and Rin leads us toward the dorm. Oh, onward towards the dorm. Oh, look at that. We stop at a small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on a slightly elevated ground, with a wall and a few trees that everyone has to circle around every time they come or go. It's probably the only inconvenient design in the school, but it looks nice. The entire wall, made of the same kind of bricks as the building itself, has been covered in some sort of painting. Most of it is still mere sketches, quick lines drawn with black and white against the gray plaster that covers most of the entire length of the wall, but some places look a bit more finished. There are human faces, and legs, and hands. I can't quite say what the painting is as the whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground, beside the wall. See? The left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get in the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then it was suddenly morning. Rin, we call that sleeping. I have to work on it, but the guys from art class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there's a lot of people. With hands. Especially with hands. The reach is better. And it's faster too. Otherwise I have to do like a weird headstand and spin around like a Beyblade with paintbrushes between my toes. That'd be an image to see. She goes on a tangent of a tangent, waving a little of her arm or whatever it there actually is to demonstrate even though I got the point already. The white cotton of her sleeve flaps around, and it makes me think it could look sadder if it and it makes me think it could look sadder than it does. It's a weird sentence. But it makes me feel out of place. Like almost every tangible reminder of the student base's special properties has in the past few days. This girl doesn't notice my dreary feelings, of course, or the fact that she has lost me a while ago already, and just keeps on blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there's something I need to figure out and then figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. Right. Why would all hope be lost? Because the painting has to be painted, then it has to dry, then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. Time, yes. She finally stops, apparently thinking she's made some kind of statement that makes sense. Wow. I think it's best to start from the top. So, this is your project. You did this? Yes. Did you not hear anything I was just saying to you for the past 9 hours? Yes. Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice. But what is this supposed to be? I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling like I've walked straight into the minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay, you can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blush really hard. I don't really know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It feels like I'm way more sensitive than Rin is, though. Did you need a hand with making all these paintings? I was like, well, I wonder if I could put my finger on something here. Something feels a bit off. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? Oh. I thought you were going to ask when I looked like naked, but I can answer that question too. See? I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. Oh, so jovial. Yeah, I almost guessed it already. But isn't that hard to do? Not when you have no other choice. You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is. But maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she was using her feet to eat, I figured painting might not be a problem either. In fact, her dexterity developed by painting might have helped her in other facets of her life. Neither of us has anything else to add to the subject, so I drop it, like a dead weight. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would be too flat, but it's not like that after all. It's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it looks like in a dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat, you know, that's kind of how they work. Not like that flat, dumbass. You know, flat. Like some people are. No substance. No meat where there should be some. Unlike me, of course.
I know a few girls who. Okay, I get it. Woo! She's about to cook some people. Okay. Okay, I get it, but I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't name many artists or artistic terms. So I don't really have anything to say. Rin shrugs her shoulders as to say, suit yourself, without saying it, and looks up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there. I didn't think I'd get any actual work done, but if you could give me a hand with the paints, I could get a little more. I could do a little more before it's too dark. Well, I'll give you all the hands. I wanted to get a halogen lamp like the ones they use at the sports tracks, but there aren't any. Rin sure is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It really makes me feel that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not sure if I could be of any help though. It's just mixing some paint. Even you could do that, probably. Do you have motor control problems? Like, you know, those people who have some? That's such a sarcastic remark, but she says it so earnestly that it kind of takes you back. Cerebral palsy, maybe? Not that I know of. Why, as I wouldn't be who I am right now. I get it. Hard thing has nothing to do with that. She gives me a sly look for no reason. It's like, Like, if she could tap you with her elbow, she totally would. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. No, I kind of like Rin so far. I know I said earlier that she'd be like a handful, but she has a very playful and nonchalant aspect about her. She doesn't try to hide or anything and not to be who she, and try to pretend to be something she isn't. She's very straightforward, and I like that. And I like that about her. So she sits in an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide brush between her toes of her bare right foot. I open a few of the cans and pour some of the contents into shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paints flow lazily from the can to the bowl like syrup. I mix them, creating funny, hypnotic-looking swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a new monotone hue. Rin sets to work. Every now and then she asks me. Every now and then asking me for a hand with something or the other. So you get it? Asking him for a hand because she doesn't have any. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone this girl is apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last milliliter before she is satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best. Add half a splash of green. That's too much green. I crouch down to pick up the can of bright green. The other green. This green. I carefully pour some of the other green paint into the mixing bowl. No, that's almost a whole splash. More white. Is green a good color to add? I don't know. No idea. You're the artist here. A hint of smile appears in the corner of her mouth. She's like, I like the way you see things, Hisao. Do you lack an opinion? No, it's just that I have no idea. Are you just a yes man, Hisao? It's okay.
Because I just got an idea. Add more white. You can never go wrong with too much white. With this exclamation, I pour a minuscule amount of white into the bowl and mix it. It looks slightly wider. That's not good. It has to be like the color when you wake up and you know that you saw the meaning of life in your dream but can't remember it. Oh, I know that color. Maybe it's yellow. Dots. Despite the impossibility of mixing colors like the change of seasons or any other nonsense that is being imposed on me, I find myself enjoying it more than I thought I would. Seeing a painting being born on a plaster wall feels like magic. Is there a way I could... Oh, yeah, there we go, show image. Yeah, look at that. It's all coming together. That got the face here. It's like ah. This guy over here's like This dude over here's like yo what up? Yeah, good stuff. Good times. I spend the moments I have between mixing paints crouching down on the paving and just looking at her work. It feels slightly intrusive at first, like breaking some imaginary intimacy, but Rin doesn't seem to mind the least bit. Maybe it's just in my head. Her entire presence emits a completely different air as she patiently works the details, adding layers of paint on top of other layers of paint, steadily moving her foot across the wall to add new shapes. When I managed to produce a passable mixture of paint, the rare smile on her face is oddly rewarding. So, she appreciates my work. I'm appreciated. Apart from the few words when discussing paint mixes, neither of us say a word for the longest time. Really, my dude, you could be hitting it off right now, my G. Like, Hisao, what are you doing, big dog? You could be chatting her up, man. This could be the start of something cool. And you're just squandering it away. And even those short discussions soon evolve into a shorthand, both of us developing and using weird impromptu code words for various paints and hues. As if there was some need to conserve words and breath and sound. Very stilted sentence. So, are you okay, dude? And just like that, it is nighttime. We stay here late into the evening until it becomes too dark to paint properly. Oof. Being Hisao is so exhausting. A new day, new me. The sound of an alarm pulls me out of a fitful slumber into the unpleasant state of wakefulness. I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise while making excuses as to why I already haven't. It's so incredibly relatable. Like when your alarm goes off, you're just like, ugh. You either hit snooze, or you wake up and you still just sit in bed and thumb through your phone. I'm trying to think, okay, eventually the longer I stay awake, maybe I'll get up. I know you've all been there. I certainly have. If you've been there, let me know. Honestly, I wouldn't mind staying here for all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock still has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class here is Skipping class is easy here. I don't think they're going to let me get away that easily. As the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with talk of exercising as well. It's ready to sell. I'm going to be breathing down your neck. So you better get to stepping. So eventually, I do rise up. Never mind. Swallow the morning medication and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku, so I didn't get issued with a gym outfit. I ordered some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. Makes me wish I could turn back time to the good old days where Mama used to sing us to sleep when I was stressed out. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life this way, a bit like me. After all, I'm going to start taking care of myself. I can't afford to slack around. We'll start from the basics. Basics which include keeping the rest of my body in shape, along with what little I can do to strengthen my heart. Maybe then I can go back to something approaching a normal life. Or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over and die at any minute. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only person at the track. Oh, yeah, well, same thing. I think that's what it says there. You hear something bouncing in the background. Not just that, it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic-legged girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track, lithely, like a half-mechanical gazelle. What's her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember it. Was it Amy? Was it Emily? Was it Aaron? No. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lope, her prosthetic legs clanking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine, and the nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog, just like he is oppressing me. He's like, he's forcing me to run. He's probably forcing everybody to do this. That evil, fitness-minded bastard. I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health, and his prompting me to do so. And even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get it out of the way this early. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who had witnessed my pitiful attempts to get in shape was merely a happy accident. I'd leave, but it seemed like my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. Oh jeez. Alright, well, I think we shall speak to this young lady on the next episode. I think I spent a good long time recording this. But I can't say that I'm not having fun, and I most certainly am having fun. So thank you everybody for joining me. Be sure to delicately press that like button, gently caress that subscription button, and be sure to glean your opinions into the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think, and be sure you guys stay tuned for future episodes. It's for real, it's for fun. It's your boy Jqilin. Ciao for now.